All right, now I'm going to go ahead and start with presenting you a problem that you're going to need to be able to handle in order to do the assignment at the end of this lesson. So we're going to start, I'm going to walk through a couple of slides. You'll also need to have your Peardeck open while you're doing this or watching this video so you can answer the questions in the Peardeck. So it says, circle the graph that represents the price as a function of the weight of a serving of yogurt, okay? And the information it gives us is a self-serve frozen yogurt store sells servings up to 12 ounces. It charges 50 cents per ounce for a serving between 0 and 8 ounces, and $4 for any serving greater than 8 ounces and up to 12 ounces. Now we can tell that this is a piecewise function because it breaks into two parts, and that's what a piecewise function is about, is that there's an individual piece and then another individual piece, and then maybe even another individual piece. In this case, it starts by saying yogurt stores sell up to 12 ounces, so that we're gonna have a total of 12 ounces, and it charges 50 cents per ounce for a serving between 0 and 8. And there's our first part right there. Okay, it charges 50 cents per ounce for a servings between 0 and 8 ounces. And then our second part, which is right here, $4 for any serving greater than 8 ounces and up to 12 ounces. Okay, so we have two different parts here. And if you look at all these graphs, what we're gonna do is identify that graph. Well, this first graph right here in red really only has one part. It looks like it just continues to go straight. And then this one here has one part, it continues to go straight. And this one also has one part, and it goes straight. But notice right here, we've got two sections, okay? Now, let's verify what makes sense in this section right there, okay? The first thing it says, I'm gonna go to the second part that's in purple here. It says $4 for any serving greater than 8 ounces and up. So what that means is between 8 ounces and 12 ounces, it is $4. It consistently stays $4. So between 8, which is right here, all the way to 12, it stays $4, okay? If we go back to the red section, it does something a little bit different. It says it charges 50 cents per ounce for a serving between 0 and 8. That means every ounce increases by 50 cents. So at 1 ounce, it should be 50 cents. Okay, at 2 ounces, it should be $1. At 3, it should be $1.50. At 4, it should be $2. Okay, and it continues that way. So what we should notice automatically is we have two parts and that we should be looking directly at that graph right there. Okay. Now, when we go into this a little bit more, we look at these words of domain, range, and continuous or non-continuous, okay? So as we go into this, it says domain. Remember that the domain is simply the X values and the range are the Y values, okay? And so let's go ahead and we'll take care of the domain first. The domain are the X values, and that starts right here and it goes all the way to right there. Okay, and what we could do is we can start at 0 and we go all the way to 12. And that's what we would say. We'd say 0, X is less than or equal to 12. We can also write it as I include 0 and I include 12. And that's what this means, is include. Okay. Then of course we have the range. Now those range values are going to be those Y values. So let me change the color. Those are going to be Y values. Okay, and with those Y values, that starts from 0 and it goes all the way up to 4. So 0 to 4. Notice I'm using a Y value, or I could say 0 to 4, just like that. And this is continuous, and the reason why is there's no breaks in this graph whatsoever. It continues all the way through. Okay. Real simple. So if we were to look at this problem, how much would it cost to get a 4-ounce serving? Well, 4-ounce serving is nice. I look and I say, well, 4-ounce serving, that's on the X. So I'm going to go 4, I'm going to say up, and I'm going to say, okay, well, that must be 2. So 4 ounces cost $2. Okay. And then I'm going to skip to the next question. And it says, what size serving can you get with $5? Well, this one's a little bit different because we have the output. The $5 is on the y-axis. So I go, okay, price in $5. And I want to know, well, if I go up to 5, guess what? If I look over, there's nothing there. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is an undefined solution. Okay. Now let's go ahead and we're going to keep working our way. Okay. And it says a self-serve frozen yogurt store sells up to 12 ounces. It charges 50 cents per ounce for serving between 0 and 8, and $4 for anything greater. So we're very good there. And it says, let's write a function rule. Now this is going to be a piecewise function rule. It says the function P represents the price of yogurt in serving for W ounces. Okay, so that means, simply put, we need to go ahead and say that, well, I've got P of W. Essentially, this is saying like, these are my Y values. But we have two equations. We have this first equation right here, and then we have this second equation right there. So we need to break this into two pieces. So I'm going to say, okay, well, I've got to start here. Okay, and I'm going to make this equation here. We know it's a line, and we know line equals y equals mx plus b. And the y-intercept is 0, plus we know that the slope, which is right there, is 50 cents. We're going up by 50 cents each time. So I'm just going to say y equals to 0.5x. Now, the one thing that is a little bit trickier about this is we're not using y's and x's, we're using p's and w's. So I'm going to just come over here and I'm going to say, well, the price w is 0.5 w. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that information we put on earlier. I'm going to say between 0 and 8. So I'm going to say between 0 and 8. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, okay, well, in the purple section right there, it is always continuously 4. It never changes. Y equals to 4. There is no slope. It doesn't go up. It doesn't go down. So I'm just going to write 4 right here. And when I do that, I got to say, well, that's between 8 and 12. So between 8, W, and 12. Notice I did not put an equal sign on the 8 section, but that's because it connects to the 8 in red right there. Okay, and I've just made my function. We can graph that in Desmos just like we've done before. Okay. Okay, and hopefully that helps you out with this section. And make sure that you're answering your Peardeck.